So what's going on, everybody? It's J.A. Salute to you for tuning in. Hope you had a great weekend. Of course, it's the Monday show, so we're about to dive into all of the hottest sneaker releases you can look forward to dropping this week. Plus, we finally got a YEEZY update, as it looks like one of Ye's close friends is spilling the beans, as we got a little insight as to what's going on behind the scenes over there. So of course, stay tuned for everything. But to kick things off, I did want to start with this tweet, which I'm sure you guys probably see coming as it's gone viral over the last couple of days. This happens to come from J Tips, aka the Savior, which most people probably know him from gaining a lot of notoriety here in the sneaker world through his various Saucony collaborations. So as J Tips continues to gain more notoriety, of course, at the same time, his tweets hit a lot different. So sometimes you kind of got to be a little careful of what you say, or maybe not. As he put, "My daughter got bullied for her shoes in school by a kid in New Balances. She had on Canary Travis Scotts. We are in new days in sneaker culture." So yes, my brother, we are definitely in new days. And I would say though, for like most people that are into like the sneaker game, or for like a better term, like have a passion for sneakers, I would say their gateway was probably through Jordan. So whether you're a kid like me that grew up in the 90s watching MJ like literally dominate on the court. I mean, as a kid back then, how could you not love MJ? Like through all the marketing, like the commercials, even the fact that bro was in Space Jam, like literally with Bugs Bunny. Like how could you not love MJ? Also adults, of course, love the fact that that boy dominated 6 championships on the court. You guys already know the whole story. So I would say like through most of us, like it's tied to nostalgia, love through Jordans. Or like if you're, let's say, under 30, it's probably through like maybe an OG put you on game, or maybe you got a passion for the storytelling, or you possibly even got through Jordans, like maybe into like the collectible factor or like the resale and everything like that. But I would say for the most people, when it comes to sneakers, most people probably got in through Jordans. Not everybody, but I would say the majority of people. So we saw Nike Jordan brand pretty much run the sneaker game through the 90s, the 2000s. I would say the only other person that came through and really like shook things up in a major way would have to be Ye, of course, with Yeezys. But since then, you know, nowadays we see new trends emerging, such as like you're seeing everybody rocking like that retro runner, whether it comes from Asics or New Balance. But we don't want to like just completely discredit brands like Asics and New Balance, as I feel like foundationally they've been like planting all these seeds organically. So I think their rise in the sneaker world is definitely organic, and I wouldn't really just like write them off as a trend that's gonna leave, but more as like a official player that's gonna be here to stay for a long time. So with that being said, let's go ahead and revisit this tweet right here, which I feel like isn't a literal story of what happened, but I would look at it more as like a metaphor, as J Tips kind of like reflects on the current state of the sneaker game. Nowadays, everybody isn't just rocking Nikes and Jordans. I feel like there's honestly 2 types of sneakerheads, which I've talked about in the past: people that only wear Nikes and Jordans, or people that have like a diverse profile when it comes to their rotation. Me, I'm pretty much like getting experimental, trying out new stuff, just having fun with it, but at the same time still very nostalgic, you know, from like my classics from like the Jordan brand. So I would always say like for every year I might like buy 1 or 2 retro J's, but for the most part, like I'm just keeping things light and having fun with it, trying out new stuff. So as we revisit this tweet right here, I would say it's probably not something that literally happened, but more as like a metaphor or a reflection of the current state of the sneaker game. And while I feel like a lot of people were really upset about this, at the same time, I mean, I feel like it's an honest statement. So let me know what you guys think about this. At the same time, as we know, you know, them Travis Scott Canary Yellow joints were said by many people to be one of the ugliest Travis Scotts that have released to date. So could it be more so that she was bullied just possibly because of that colorway? I'm just playing, y'all, but drop your feedback on this one down below. Now, as far as this week's releases, I think that tweet definitely paints the picture. As we see this week, we got some variety, a little bit of something from all of your favorite brands, some hype stuff, a little more under the radar releases, as well as a big question mark surrounding a high profile retro release from Jordan brand. So coming up tomorrow, we got Adidas hitting us with the Bob Marley SL72, which pays homage to the legend. This is an organic collaboration, as we even got photographic evidence that Bob Marley used to rock this classic sneaker back in the day. So my only critique for this model would be we probably could have did without the Bob Marley signature on the side, as you could clearly see this sneaker has a Jamaican theme, you know, from the colors used in the sole right there. But of course Adidas had to paint it out for us and everything like that. But you can look forward to these hitting the confirmed app coming up here for $120 October 15th. Now on the 16th, we got New Balance debuting the 740 V2, which this is the Marsh Green colorway. So these are called the V2 because the 740 originally dropped back in like the early 2000s when that model debuted. But what they did is they gave it an updated sole, so it's a little more affordable nowadays. That's why it's called the V2, and these are going to be coming in at $110. So this will be the debut colorway, and then come 2025, we're going to see a lot more colors of this sneaker dropping. I think New Balance has huge plans for this model. $110, you gotta love it. Now on the 17th, we got Nike hitting us with the Air Max 1 86 Cosmic Clay, which the Air Max 1 has a little buzz right now with that recent dot swoosh Air Max 1 low poly release. So this pair right here, don't get it confused with the OG red pair, as this is more like a little orange. So some people will look at this as maybe like an alternative to those, or maybe like a senseless cash grab, or unwanted colorway by Nike. But regardless, 17th, these are dropping for $150. Now, also on the 17th, while Nike has yet to officially announce these, we do see some retailers already have raffles up for these. We're talking the Kobe 5 Protro X-Ray, which you guys love your Kobe releases, another great pair. I love the design right here with the X-ray skeleton theme. It even glows in the dark. I think the timing of this release is perfect with Halloween right around the corner. So what bad can you say about this pair other than the hefty $190 retail price tag? But regardless, people are going to eat these joints up on the 17th. And then coming up also on the 17th, we got New Balance hitting us with the 990 V4 Macadamia Nut, which, as far as this pair right here, comes from their Made in USA collection, which when we saw this season's collection first previewed, many people were saying that this pair was a standout release from that whole collection. So you gotta love these right here. The only critique, again, price point, a little hefty at $210, but if you actually wait on these, if these joints potentially sit, you could snag these on a good little sale towards the end of the season. Now, also from New Balance, coming up here on the 18th, we got the Bricks and Woods collaboration, which they're teaming up with New Balance on the 1906 U for utility. Now, I've given this release a hard time, you know, just due to the fact that I'm kind of burnt out on the 1906. You know, I've been saying that for a while now. I'm starting to see other people kind of express that same sentiment, and I just gave them a hard time because I love the 96, the Bricks and Wood pair. So as far as this one, the design inspiration comes from a butterfly. While it's not my favorite, I know there's gonna be a lot of people that love these. They did do a soft launch this past weekend, and we got the nationwide release via New Balance coming up here on the 18th, which they're asking $170 for these. Now, also on the 18th, we got the Ding Yang Zhang Kuza debut, and this is a brand new model, which does take inspiration from a classic Adidas boxing shoe. So on top of this pair, which will be debuting with 3 colorways, we also have 2 Ding Yang Zhang Sambas as well. So it looks like they have a lot of faith in this young designer, which I'm a fan of this model right here. I think these joints are cool. I would say like the $350 price tag may be kind of a turn away from some people, which I think kind of would make this sneaker like lack the chance of having a huge impact. But I think it would be cool, especially for like that Y3 audience, which is already used to paying like those high-end prices. But these are definitely not for everybody, but an interesting one. So that's gonna be a cool one. And then on the 18th, we have the Black Toe Jordan 1 Reimagines. Now there's a big question mark surrounding this release, of course, because there was huge headlines about this sneaker being delayed to 2025, but it turns out some of these smaller boutique retailers, which have already got their shipments in, do have the green light from Nike to still drop these on the 18th. So we're gonna see these joints dropping for $180. And I think with this scattered release, Nike kind of did something fun to shake this release up, because these joints are gonna be dropping in limited capacity, making collectors, you know, wanna go on the hunt to grab these. And then we're gonna see a bigger, wider sneakers app launch, you know, once the buzz is out there for this sneaker come next year. So this will be an interesting one. And while we have a whole bunch of sneakers dropping this week, these are just some of the ones I wanted to highlight. So we're gonna see a lot more pairs dropping, but so far from what we know, let me know if you guys are excited for any of these pairs dropping. And lastly, we finally got a Yeezy update. As of recently, it seems like Ye's been super low-key, kind of under the radar recently, as he's apparently living out in Tokyo right now. So as far as an update, as we take a look here at Yeezy's very first year of independency, they did drop the Yeezy Pies. We got all the Vultures merch, the Moa Lola, Ghost Sister, love. We had various listening events as well as the most recent listening sessions out in China. So as far as recently, according to a very reputable journalist by the name of Torre, some of you guys probably know him like from, I think he used to host like some shows on BT or like VH1, something like that back in the day, but very credible and been in the game for a long time. He's the one that gave us the word that Ye is now living out in Tokyo, which his resources happen to be a close friend of Ye's, which recently this journalist Torre, he did actually sit down for an interview with Consequence, one of Ye's close friends, so I don't think he's really fooling anybody with that. But from what we did learn is not only is Ye living out in Tokyo, but apparently working on his new concept album Bully, which the reason that this is such a big thing is because as far as recording this album, they're not doing it in any type of like huge mega studios or anything like that, but Ye's actually just recording this project in his hotel room, and he simply is just him and the engineer, which previously Ye was known to, you know, have these huge production teams, these elaborate teams of writers, but now it looks like there's a lot different as it's just like him and the engineer. Seems like he's kind of getting back to the basics from some of the records that we've heard so far. It's very like soul sample, chopped up heavy, so you gotta love it. So far everything sounds great. Now when you look at this, if you're like a Ye music fan, you would love this, but if you're somebody that's only here for like the clothes or the sneakers and everything like that, you're probably a little disappointed with this. So as we take a look here at what's going on with the YEEZY clothes and everything so far, from what we've seen, Ye has fired many of the design teams. There's rumors that he's no longer working with LA Apparel, his previous manufacturer. So as far as the future of YEEZY, I think there's a lot of gray area right now. We really don't have any updates on that. The only thing that's really positive to look forward to is all of the unreleased merch, all the unreleased YEEZY stuff that we've seen Ye rocking, as well as these like kind of like unknown prototype type of footwear that he's been rocking in the past. So as far as like the music and everything like that, it looks like things are looking very great. But as far as like the YEEZY merch and footwear, who really knows what to expect with all of that stuff right there. But that's the only update that I got for you guys as of now. It seems like Ye is living what Torre calls high class homeless, as he's just living from hotel to hotel, but these are luxury hotels, by the way. So as far as the new sound of the album, I'm excited to hear this man get back to the basics. And one can only think though, if like we're gonna keep it all the way positive, is if he drops the album, you know, and everything is cool, it's only gonna channel into his other artistic endeavors, whether that's footwear, merch. Who knows if Ye is planning to make a big return to the footwear game. That's what the rumors were previously, but things could have changed, you know, since then. But we can always look forward to him dropping new YEEZY merch. And just as far as all the stuff that they dropped this year, I was a huge fan of the cuts, especially the t-shirts, big fan of all of the pants that they dropped. So kind of disappointed that they took all that stuff down, but hopefully they're working on new stuff and they'll have YEEZY items returning to the website. But for now, that's all I got for you guys on this quick little Monday update. So of course, if y'all enjoyed today's video, you know, go ahead and drop a salute if y'all made it all the way through the end. I appreciate y'all. Please drop your feedback if you enjoyed. Smash that like button. Of course, I'll be back with you guys tomorrow for the latest updates. So in the meantime, stay safe, stay blessed. I'm JA, and I'm out, y'all. Love.